Hello everyone. Thank you for coming despite the hot weather. And this room صح AC داير but it's gonna be a bit hot because there is a grill that's happening today. My name is Rida. I'm the Community Growth and Outreach Officer at the Talal and Madi Hazain AUB Innovation Park. And iPark, in case you didn't, please go ahead. In case you didn't know about iPark, iPark is the startup accelerator of the American University of Beirut. What do we do? If you have a business idea and you'd like to turn it into a profitable and scalable startup, you just come to us. We offer you the comprehensive resources and ecosystem to help you grow and scale. And we do that in many ways. But one way we always like to do is to engage everyone, whether it's entrepreneurs or even the broader community, to engage in different activities. Today, we're doing something that has resonated with a lot of people, which is the startup Thrill and Grill. It is a concept where we have one or two startups on stage. They'll be doing live investor one-on-one meetings with expert investors. And where they can, at the end of the day, the investors can give them feedback, but also they can share educational tips to the audience to see how investor meetings happen. And as usual, this session is led by the one and only Abdo Achkar. Abdo is part of the advisory board of iPark, but more broadly, he is an angel investor. He invested in 30 plus global startups in different industries, different markets. I'm not going to count them all there, but he also is the CEO. He's also the CEO of Solutions, which is a tech for equity business. Also, which means he helps startups develop their technology, and he takes a equity share from their companies. So please help me welcome first to the stage, Abdo, please. As usual, Abdo is joined by an expert investor. Today, he's joined by Corine Kiame. Corine is the current president of the Lebanese League for Women in Business, Women in Business, exactly. And she was the chief investment manager at IM Funding, an early stage venture capital based in Lebanon, from 2015 all the way to 2023. With assets under management of $79 million US. Her role was extended from deal sourcing all the way to startup support, to investment decisions and startup support to exit. She's also the founding member of Cedar's Lebanese Women Angel Group. She's an expert with many other engagements, including being part of a team managing $1 billion fund. So please help me welcome to the stage Corine for the Startup Thrill and Grill. So we usually host a couple of startups. Today we're going to start with the B2C. So B2C means business to consumer. The first startup is called Walleti. The founder is Rafiq Farra, part of the current Build and Accelerate program at iPark. And what Walleti does is they created prepaid crypto cards to facilitate for consumers like me and you the entry to crypto markets. So please help me welcome Rafiq to the stage. Now let the thrill begin and grill.
Test. Rafi, would you like to introduce yourself? So guys, let's keep answers short to make sure the format is applicable. Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
Cool. So short answers when we have answers. So guys, the purpose of this is not to grill somebody in a negative way, right? So we always have to make sure we start with this, right? What we do is we tell the person what we think is right, and we can always be wrong, okay? So that's the intention here. We can always be wrong. So we tell him what we think about his positioning, okay? And then we tell him the things that the usual investor would not tell you. Okay, and this is why we're calling it a grill. Okay, so the usual investor will not ask you certain things, we're telling you, so we're asking you what they would think and not just what they would ask, okay? So that's the difference between the grilling session and going to an early stage investor, okay? And again, here, we're not here to delve too deep into the business merit, because you're super early stage, okay? So signals, positioning, your character matters more, okay? So this is why we do this, okay? So go ahead, Rafi, right? And
Yes.
Walleti?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Let's here. One T?
Yep, you got it right. You got it right. No, 1T. 1T.
That's okay. And I, not a Y.
Yep.
Okay. Perfect. Cool. Do you want?
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, should I start on a personal level or?
Yeah, just a quick intro about yourself and then about the business before
Sure.
we get started.
So, my name is Rafiq Farra. I'm 34 years old. IC, LU, and AUB grad. Have been in cryptocurrency for the past 8 years. Previously worked on a tech startup in San Francisco, an online video advertisement. Also have experience in investment banking and sales. And so Walleti was born from an experience we did in cryptocurrency, combined with the executive MBA we did here at AUB. And Walleti is basically a simple-to-use cryptocurrency exchange tailored for first-time buyers that have no clue how to purchase cryptocurrencies. And how we reached there, we started by doing an experiment called consultancy. And consultancy was a one-on-one crypto onboarding solution for high net worth individuals. We used to sit with clients for an hour and a half, explain what cryptocurrency and blockchain is, explain what monetary theory is, explain what depreciation of purchasing power is, and that was back in 2020, so it was at the right time when COVID hit and inflation started to rise. And if the clients were convinced, we brokered the coins, set them up with hardware wallets, added them to WhatsApp groups, which we updated on a daily basis with news and research and insights. And if they wanted to sell the coins, we would also secure the sales of the coins. So, but the problem is that we had to consume a lot of time with every client. So we did that with 120 clients when we brokered $4 million in a matter of 10 months. Combining that with the executive MBA experience, we said that we wanted to target the long tail of the market, the largest amount of people with the lowest amount of wealth. The solution we come up with is basically we're going to sell a QR code in retail shops in which users can buy these QR codes for low denominations with in the simplest format and the easiest accessibility. So you go to a gas station market, a phone shop, etc. You purchase a prepaid card, $10, $25, $50, $100, $500 card. You download the Walleti app, you create an account, you scan and you redeem, and you can redeem it in whatever cryptocurrency you want. So this is Walleti.
Cool. All right. Cool. All right. So as usual, we want to start with, every entrepreneur's character and positioning. And positioning matters a lot, okay? So basically, he came from a place where he validated something, right? And he's starting the startup after validating some concepts, right? Okay. Let's make sure this matches the current audience, okay? We'll do this in the next phase. So you told us about yourself. Are you alone or you're with co-founders?
So I have a co-founder. She's a chief marketing officer, but she's not engaged in the business until we launch.
Okay, so is she a co-founder?
So she will be a co-founder once we launch.
She will be a co-founder?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of equity share are you guys planning on having?
She's going to start with 5%. 5%.
5%?
Yes, because I've been doing this for 2 years so far, all alone.
Okay. So probably not a co-founder, okay? So the reason I'm asking about this, guys, is solos are super risky, okay? Again, people tell me you're a solo. Why do you say this? It is the case. Okay. So solos are risky. We have to make sure we have a team. Okay. And then the team basically, if a truck hits me, there's somebody else to take care of it. Okay. So it's backup and startup. It's basic kind of thing. So as usual, we do, you know, plus minus solo. Okay.
Sure.
So it is you know, it doesn't mean you can't make it. There are a lot of solos that made it. And again, it's kind of like knowing your risks, okay? So, and from my perspective as an investor, I look at it, okay, is he a solo? Could you not have enough, you know, do you not have enough trust from your friends around you to bring somebody else?
No, so we're basically not creating gunpowder. And for that reason, we don't need a technical co-founder. We're just basically doing a technical Lego. Like the technologies are already existing, and so we're just combining them.
So you buy the tech and you sell it?
No,
Okay.
what I mean, the tech is already available. We're not creating the tech.
Okay.
So we're not inventing the wheel. That's what I mean. And for that reason, I don't think we need a technical co-founder.
I'm not necessarily talking about a technical co-founder. I'm talking about, like, you know, multiple people running
Sure.
the startup. So this is here. Do you have any opinion on that?
No, I'm just surprised about the we. So it's not we, it's just you, because your partner is not gonna come in unless, you know, you launch.
Yes.
But what does it mean, launch? Is to fundraise and invest? or-
Start the business, yes.
So she's waiting for the 5% and a salary?
We did not discuss that yet. Probably not, because she already is a co-founder at another company.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So this is kind of like a little small red flag here. Okay, so somebody wanting to join but they don't want to join and they're waiting, etc. And he's saying, like, when we start the business, does it mean like they didn't start the business but they already sold some stuff in the past? I know it's not part of the business. Okay, so these are some kind of mixed signals for me. Okay, so that's why I'm asking, like, hey, are you a solo? It looks to me like he's a solo. Okay.
It doesn't look.
Huh?
It doesn't look.
doesn't look.
He is a solo.
He is so, yeah.
متفقين؟
Sure, yeah, of course.
Yes. حلو الدقة.
Cool. All right, so how long have you started the business?
So the business is not live yet.
It's not like that.
Yes.
But you started preparing, you started working.
Yes, so this is our second acceleration program. We went through a first acceleration program at the Darwaza Center, and now we're doing another one with the iPark.
Okay. So you've been through accelerators. Okay, so let's put this in here like a little plus. Okay. He gets a little access to the network. He has some help. Okay, so this is usually a plus, especially with iPark. I like iPark quite a bit. I'm biased, but I think, you know, it's very useful and very helpful. Okay, so yeah, so he's part of accelerators. And second iteration. So how long is this? So the reason I'm asking how long is this, right? How long has he been iterating? A lot of entrepreneurs iterate for a long time before they go to market. Okay. My preferred method is to test with the clients and then build the product. Early stage, like we're talking super early stage. We're not talking at VC level. Super early stage, like, hey, would you like to buy it? Okay, whatever it is, sell it first and then go to market. So 2 accelerations, how long is that for?
So let's say 2 years.
2 years.
Yes.
Okay, so that's gonna be here. It's a minus for me, right? You've been working on it for 2 years. You've been, you know, sharpening the saw, but you're not cutting anything.
Yes,
Okay.
so there is a reason.
Well, there are always reasons, right?
Yes.
So this is why
So
I'm
the
saying
targeted market we want to launch in did not have a clue, or they were working on their regulations, but the other departments that would allow you, let's say in the UAE, you currently only have 30 crypto licenses.
Mm-hmm.
These crypto licenses just started coming out right now. And the 30 crypto licenses that they have, crypto exchange licenses, are given to the largest exchanges. So the regulator in the UAE previously, so last summer they published their regulations. So from last summer until today, these big exchanges have been applying and getting their licenses. And a lot of them are pending so far. And for that reason, when we finished our acceleration, when we wanted to go to the UAE, they still did not publish their regulations.
Cool. So you're telling me it's a heavily regulated
Totally.
industry, right? And this is
the
also
heaviest regulations in the world are in the UAE, specifically for crypto. So they
your target is the UAE.
Yes.
This is what you're thinking about. So he's looking at a larger market. The UAE, guys, if you want to know a little bit more about it, when it comes to crypto specifically, it's very active. It's very vibrant. It is the crypto hub generally in the world. So a lot of things are happening in the UAE. Hala, what he's saying is, getting the license is taking a long time, and this is a problem, okay? So for 2 years, you can't get the license. The big exchanges are getting it. Other people are getting it, right? So are you going to get it? And
so
do you have a
we were
position?
approached by a cryptocurrency exchange that offered to grandfather us under their license.
Why didn't you take it?
They're doing their due diligence on us.
How long has this been going?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay, cool. So you're starting to make
and at the same time, we're trying to contact other cryptocurrency exchanges to try to fix a similar type of deal.
Cool, excellent. So we said here 2 years. Okay, it's fine. Like, guys, whenever he starts, right?
Sure.
But let's look at this. Okay. So what were you doing during these 2 years? Were you employed? Did you just quit? Like, tell us more.
So I was doing my executive MBA at the UB, and then I was the only project that was chosen to be accelerated among my cohort, which was like 54 students, and we did that for a year, and then we started doing this with iPark.
Okay, cool. And now you're full-timing on it. You're not
Yes.
doing anything else.
Correct.
Okay. So that's fine. So we'll say like, okay, this is good. He's full-timing on it. And sometimes like, being a full-time is a good thing. Sometimes it's not. It depends on the type of startup. If it's relevant to his industry, some people would be good to remain in the industry, especially if they're salespeople in a specific domain, right? In your case here, I think, leaving everything is a good jump for you, and this is a good step you're taking, right?
Yep.
You're not happy about it?
Yes. So previously I was doing consultancy,
Okay.
and we slowed that down in order to concentrate on Walleti.
Okay, cool. So let me ask a little bit of a common question usually. So investors ask this thing, and they'll ask you this. So why do you want to do this? Why do you want to be an entrepreneur?
So why I want to do Walleti and consultancy before being an entrepreneur?
No, why do you want? Yeah.
Why? Yeah, because I want to give back to the cryptocurrency community, and I truly believe that we need to grow it, and there has to be some type of growth that would allow the normal average Joe to get into cryptocurrency. And we want to democratize the access into cryptocurrency and not only leave it for the experts. And because of the consultancy, so let me go back a bit. 2017, I begged my friends to buy Bitcoin and crypto. I begged my friends to buy crypto and Bitcoin. Nobody did. So maybe it was a good thing, maybe a bad thing. But at the end of the day, if you waited and you dollar cost average your Bitcoins since 2017 until today, you're in profit. And for that reason, we created consultancy. But my personal vision expands beyond my circle, and I want not only the people I know to invest in the Bitcoin, I want everybody to invest into it. And so initially it started by giving back to the community and onboarding my close friends and circle into Bitcoin and crypto.
Okay. So you want to make Bitcoin more accessible by...
Totally.
Okay.
And I truly believe in Bitcoin and its offering.
Okay, cool. I'm not going to get into the topic. I'm a big Bitcoin fan. People know this. So I'm not going to challenge something that, but if you don't like it, go ahead and challenge it.
No, what an investor doesn't want to hear is give back. We don't want to give back. We want you to make money. We want to become
Totally.
just as a word, we don't like to hear it. Maybe it's better that you use an alternative word. But I just want to go back to what you wrote on the screen. So accelerator. Did you lose equity along the way between that was an iPark?
No.
You didn't lose. Okay.
We won 3 awards during our first accelerator.
It took 2 years, so that's
Okay.
why I added it in on this side.
So knowing that your market really is the UAE, why didn't you choose that the next accelerator to be based there?
So there was a time difference where we couldn't apply anymore to these accelerators. Lastly, we applied for ADGM, but they already closed their round of.
But there are plenty in the region.
I would love to apply if you have some.
No, you just go online and.
I know. Some of them are not specifically for crypto. Some of them are for tech. The ones that we applied for, unfortunately, we didn't.
How many?
Like 3.
Which ones?
I don't have the names on top of my mind. I can send them to you
Okay.
with the emails.
Do you have a comment about the number?
Which number?
3.
It's too low, and he doesn't remember the names.
Okay. All right.
ما بيصير. No, not to remember the names. لأنه usually those applications are lengthy enough that no way تنسى اسمه.
Sure.
Okay, so Rafi, generally it's a numbers game, okay?
Okay.
If you convert 10%, you're very good, okay?
Yeah.
10% of 3 is less than 1, right?
Yep.
So you need to, I'm not saying it in a bad way. It's,
Yes.
I'm always telling you, like, this is what I think you should.
Yes, so my point is that we don't want to get trapped into between accelerators. So we did the first, we did the second. We
It doesn't
don't
have
want
to
do
be
a
just an
third
accelerator,
one. Yes.
right? It's about trying, and this is the point I'm trying to make here.
Yep. So, but we were more targeting VCs.
Yeah.
rather than
Just on that
accelerators.
point,
Yeah.
the accelerator model that you have in Lebanon is not the really common ones that you find in the GCC, because over there you will lose equity, you will get an investment ticket, and they have, they show you off eventually to investor, and if they like the idea, they have an early VC, an angel network attached to it, that they grow. When you apply, you should not apply to the type of acceleration where you only get coaching and mentorship. It's not, but you apply for ones that have full cycles, and I tell you, there are plenty in Dubai. You would know better, I guess. There are plenty.
Yep.
Okay.
So, numbers. Okay? Cool?
Sure.
So, this is very important. So, guys, we haven't been engaging you much here. So, what we're saying here, entrepreneurship is like sales. And, if you can't close enough sales, you just increase your numbers. Okay? Getting 10% of approaches to be closed is very important. Okay? Close 10%, and you have some good product market fit, let's say, in a given sales pitch. Okay? Cool? So numbers are relatively low here, Rafi, so you need to increase them, okay?
Sure.
All right. And this brings me back to solo to a certain extent. If there's no one that's playing ball with you and driving you, it gets a bit harder, okay? So if your co-founder is saying like, hey, we're not getting enough sales, or they will go do sales, they have complementary skills, okay? So let me go to other direction completely. Have you built and sold a company before? So let's go for built
No.
a company before.
No.
No? Okay. So, first timers are usually riskier than usual, okay? Because they have a learning curve to do. So next time he's gonna build, either the startup or like as he progresses, what he's gonna do is he's gonna go rapidly to the numbers. It's gonna be like, hey, if I don't get 100 people that I talked to today, I'm dead, right? So you learn this in the second venture in general, right? So, this is not good. So, first time founder.
Yep.
Come in, guys. It doesn't mean he can't make it. Don't by any means be discouraged by what I'm saying, right? So I'm telling you to know your risk, to know your, the hill you have to climb, right? And the odds, when they stack against you, you need to work harder, okay? So solos that make it are really strong people, and you have to, push and push and push, okay? And you can make it. So we're saying, like, first time, you have even more work to do. So if you had co-founders, you probably need to work 15 hours. Okay, if you're a solo, you have to work 20.
Sure.
Okay?
If we have some tissue, this grill is too hot. The grill is too hot. Can we have some tissue?
Can you guys make it colder? Yeah.
Thanks.
You should have come in shorts.
كنت بدي اجي بالفليب فلوبس.
Cool. All right.
So we also won 3 awards at the accelerator. During our first accelerator, we won 3 awards. We won a hackathon award, 3rd place. We won a MAPI 2nd place award, and we won the 1st place of the Darosa Startup Acceleration
Cool.
competition.
So you have recognition from not the market, but from judges.
Yes.
Okay, so
In Lebanon, again.
yeah, but this is where, you know, I've seen a lot of competitions and a lot of people that win the competitions, and sometimes the best startup basically is not recognized by the judges, okay? And judges are like so bad, especially when they're not putting their money into play. So it ends up being a lot of, well, it's not, I'm not talking about your merit. I like your business model, okay? That's a different thing, okay?
Thank you.
But judges, if they're not putting money, don't trust their voices. If you want to judge something, say he's a winner, they should have put money with you.
Sure, in Lebanon, the money's gone.
Okay.
So it's a hard market to...
So you're blaming the market, but you're still here.
Yes.
Why?
I have a family. I have 2 kids as well. So it's not easy to move out. I'll keep it. It's not easy to move out with 2 kids and a family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want access. So you're saying you need access?
Yes.
Okay. How many people have you asked for access?
A lot of people.
Okay, cool. So let's put this on the side. I happen to be, you know, in the crypto world, it's, you know, it's my world, so I happen to have a lot of connections. So let's keep this aside. So in this case, like, it's not just about him, okay? It's about me as well. So a startup that's probably bad for me can be good for Corine, right? So it's your self-positioning as an investor. So for me, I'm very well positioned in the crypto world. I know a lot of people. Some of the companies I invested in grew quite a bit in the market that you're targeting, okay? So this is something that is a plus because I am part of it, okay? So I am strategic. Okay? If I'm strategic, it means I can position them better, okay? So this is where we can play in a different way, okay? Cool. So let's, there's numbers and then, okay, cool. So we're still talking about you. How old are you?
34.
34. Okay. All right. So we're not going to put it in any here, in any place. Well, for me, the 30s are very good, depending on other questions, right? And guys, also don't be discouraged by this. I'm repeating this because some people come and they're like, okay, 30 is good. I think, you know, 40 is better. Okay. I'm not, you're very young. How old are you guys? 15? We have a company. Okay, good. Cool. So
You can't find an entrepreneur who's 45 who gets crypto, really. They should be young.
in the blockchain? What kind of
So 35, I guess, is the minimum.
We have a company that sell like Netflix account for like very cheap price. We have a lot of customers, like 150 customers. That's nice.
Cool, and you're 15. Cool. So this could be an edge case scenario, okay? So you in. Mom's smacking, guys.
Yeah, it depends on the perspective. Depends on the perspective صدقني. Yeah, but you know, and I always tell them, you know, go back 10 years, you know, what was in 10 years is not what's going to be in 10 years, you know. The world has changed. And مش كلنا قدرنا نلحقه.
Let me tell you why I'm asking about age, okay? So the question itself is, you know, usually you don't ask these, right? Especially if you're in Silicon Valley, you don't ask about this. I'm asking because like we're telling you guys what I'm thinking in my back of my mind, right? So some of the things that I need to pay attention to, okay, is he well positioned, okay? Did he meet enough people in his life? And meeting people in a marketplace is useful. Did he meet enough people in the crypto world? It is useful. It's going to be faster for him to close deals if he knows people. If he's 15, okay, he either has to go and meet these 150 customers, just like you guys did, right? Or he has to know these 150 customers, okay? So it's a numbers game again, and this is why we're asking about this. So you're 34. I'm gonna put it in a plus category, okay? You're not too young, and then we're gonna see the other stuff. Are you married?
Yes.
So you're married, okay?
I have the shows.
Okay. Do you have kids?
2 kids.
So 2 kids, married. Do you have a financial income that supports this?
Yes.
Okay, so how are you supporting yourself?
So savings and past investments.
Okay, so partially investments and savings. So now we're going to take a look at the timeline he has. to survive before he fundraises, right? So, how much have you allocated for the company?
From my pocket,
Yeah,
let's say 100K.
300,000 for the company.
No, 100K.
100.
Yes.
Okay. And you're willing to spend it all regardless to get this to happen.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Do you have a burn rate for the company? You guys know what a burn rate is?
So, yes, so we want to raise a round, and that round will...
No, we're not talking about the round yet.
Okay.
Okay? We're talking about what you have and how long, if you don't get around, how long you're going to survive. Okay, so I want to tell you, hey, you're going to live for 6 months, you're going to live for 12 months, okay? If you're going to go to the UAE, you're able to live for X months, right? So this is why we're asking this. Let's assume you don't have any investor, you don't have anything right now. What is your longevity? Okay, so this is the question.
End of year. End of year.
End of year. So you're saying the spend is about 8,000 a month on the burn to get the startup moving.
Sure.
Okay. So he has about 12 months. Okay.
End of year, end of December.
Yes.
So he has 6 months. 6 months.
You said
So-
6, half year?
Yeah, end of year. End of this
End of
year.
this year. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you have 6 months. Okay. Why are you burning this much being in Lebanon?
So no,
Are
I'm
you
not
divided?
burn. So I'm not gonna burn everything until I'm not
Until
gonna
you
get.
start?
I'm not gonna get to zero until deciding to.
So you're not going to put this money until you get somebody else as well with you.
Correct.
Okay, so I'm a bit confused here, right? So he didn't dedicate the money for the company. He's waiting for another partner.
No, I'm not waiting for another partner. I'm waiting to raise funds.
A partner, somebody who's giving you money is a
Okay.
partner,
Yes.
right?
But the 100K, you've already دفعتهم? You already paid
no,
them?
So
He has
these
it
are
already.
dedicated for the company.
So, but for the past 2 years, how much did you invest in this company? That was your question originally, right?
So we invested almost 15K so far.
Okay. And you have another 100K committed on the side?
Yes.
That you
For
would
what we
invest in
launched.
case?
Yes.
Okay.
He has it committed, and in his model, he needs cash flow, right? Like he
Yes.
needs a lot of big cash to make profit. 100K is not much to get it moving, right? So, and it's probably not just for the burn. It's more for, basically LPing. So
Sure.
you're doing.
So can we do it upside down? Can we go like how much money we need for Walleti? And that would be much more logical.
How much money do you need?
So for Walleti, there are 3 models. The first model is, let's say we don't get grandfathered. We need to apply for the license in the UAE. We need $1.2 million.
Okay.
If we get grandfathered by a cryptocurrency exchange that provide us with the white label solution as well as liquidity, we would need 500K
Okay.
to launch. The third model is that we go to a country that has it's not UAE, we go to a country that has no regulations, crypto regulations, and we go and we launch there with, let's say, 600 to 700K.
Okay. So the question is, what can you do without any of this? Or how can you get started? لأنه with the risk factors that I have here,
Yes.
I would not give you 1.2 million today. It doesn't mean you can't get it from somebody else, a less savvy investor probably, or somebody who's more positioned, better positioned, and would like to acquire you. That's a different story. But in general, it's, getting started, super early stage. You have nothing, okay? That's first time entrepreneur, okay? It's, you're not going to get, in my opinion, you're not going to get this number right now, okay? You need to prove yourself to get this number, okay?
Totally.
And I tell you something, when you tell to someone that your runaway is until year end, he will contact you on the 3rd of January if he likes the idea, and he will buy you for a dime.
Okay.
Okay? So when you say it, there is the other flip side that the investor would think, it's like, okay, I'll call you in February, and I've seen investors doing that. They would, when the runaway is very short for the startup, especially when it's less than 6 months, the investor would actually contact you month 8, and he would buy you for $1. لا خلاص it went bankrupt صح؟ Just
Hello, he hasn't started, so there's no need to worry. Okay. All right.
No, he hasn't started, but he can survive until year end. لأنه January, February, or inshallah شوي بعدين, you would have to go and find a job, and you will go down in your in the
Yes.
development of the
Yeah,
startup.
so we haven't started development. What
Yeah.
we did is that we wrote the requirements we need. We know exactly what we
Okay.
need to build. We have been, the legal phase took us a lot of time to figure out what we needed. And we're trying this grandfathering deal. So this is where we got here so far. And so we don't want to develop before we start raising funds. And our development would take us like 3 to 4 months from after launching, after raising the funds.
Okay. So, an alternative perspective, like why have you not joined somebody else who's doing something similar that you can help versus building it yourself? Or no one's doing it? Or
Nobody's doing it so far.
So no one's doing it, and when no one's doing it, sometimes it can be a very good sign, sometimes it can be a very bad sign, okay? So which is it?
So the game, this game is, so a cryptocurrency exchange game is a big game. It's not something easy to do.
Okay.
And you need a lot of funds to access this market.
Yep.
So for that reason, we're trying to do it in the cheapest way and targeting the retail market instead of the experts. So I'm not saying it's an easy job. It's a very hard job to do. And that's why it's taking us time. And at the same time, we're targeting the most difficult market in terms of regulations.
Okay.
So the track we chose is a very difficult track.
Cool. Can you fill up the pluses a little bit more? I feel like, we've basically...
So there are 3 awards under Accelerator. 3 awards under Accelerator. The validation, $4 million bucks.
That's the awards. That's us. So some recognition, let's say some recognition.
The validation, 120 clients, in 2020, we sold to 120 clients, 4 million, we brokered $4 million worth of Bitcoin.
So you brokered 4 million.
Yes.
Okay. So usually, do you want to tell the guys what this means? Like, so it's a crypto exchange OTC. It's over the counter, right?
So it wasn't an over the yes. So the deal is over the counter,
crypto
but
exchanging with people. Usually
Yes.
the rates go between 1% and does it go higher?
so back then it was 4%.
But back then it used to be higher. Now
Yes.
it's never crossing 1% approximately, right?
It depends.
In the market right now, like it's almost like if you get it for me for 1%, I'll do all my transactions crypto to cash with you. Okay, so you have a client.
If I get it 1%, so you're not getting it at 1%. So you're not getting it at 1%.
Okay. So let's put 1% of 4 million. How much is that?
So no, we did 4% back then.
It's not going to be 4 anymore.
Yeah, understood.
I'm saying
but we're not
moving
doing that
forward,
anymore.
The market's changed,
Yeah,
right?
Okay.
So moving forward, I'm not, if I'm investing in a company, I don't want to invest what it used to make back in the day. Today, in the crypto world, it's anywhere between, like OTC in Lebanon, it's anywhere between 0.25% and 1% if you're lucky.
Yes, but not for Walleti. For Walleti, the margin's higher.
Okay, because they're smaller chunks.
Yes.
This is very good.
So-
And then for smaller chunks, you need to distribute to everybody, because like I think the majority of the people, 80% would be done by a few people. Okay?
Yes.
So a few people would do the majority of the crypto to cash to crypto transactions, and 20% would probably they would be the normal, usual consumer buying $10 in crypto, $100 in crypto. Yeah, you can take 7%, but how much is that? Okay? So that's
Totally.
something to keep in mind. Okay, so let's see the history. So I'm trying to put some pluses here. You've done 4 million in brokerage, which is very good. Okay, so you made 4% on it. Okay, so you made 16,000.
160K.
160. Okay, perfect. So this is great. Cool. Now, if you want to replicate it with this model, can you still replicate it today?
So we're trying to replicate it with Walleti.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
So instead of doing
can we
it on
accelerate you and go to market rapidly with the Walleti things? What is an MVP that you can think of? Okay.
So we did try an MVP. Basically, there used to exist Binance cards here in Lebanon. We basically just wrapped them into a different cover, just to validate that some people would actually buy a crypto card
Okay.
that doesn't have brand recognition.
Okay. and people bought these?
Yes, so
Let's try them out. Like you can print it on a, so usually guys, when we bring somebody on stage, it's somebody I don't know and I haven't met, but I happen to have met Rafi in iPark before, okay? So what we talked about was printing these things and testing them out, okay? And so this is a little bit different. So I met the guy before and I want to see what he's done since I last talked to him. Okay, so a lot of investors basically meet you the first time, meet you 3 months later, and they want to see the progress, because like just taking a snapshot and making a decision on it doesn't give you a lot of information, okay? But if you wait a little bit and you see the difference or differential in his progress, this gives me a better idea.
Sure,
okay?
So the last time we met, you specifically did not like the liquidity issue. Is that correct? So the liquidity issue, we're trying to solve that by being grandfathered by a bigger cryptocurrency exchange.
Okay.
And that will also give us a white label and the licensing, and that would actually deduct.
So you have somebody you're talking to that's willing to start working with you.
Yes.
They'll give you the license.
And we're trying to talk to other other
this
exchanges
is very good.
as well. Yes.
This is a big plus, actually, guys.
So this is the main difference that has.
But it's a big assumption here. Okay, so
Yes.
assuming they want to deal, but this is very good. A potential big deal with somebody big. What's the value of that deal here?
So they would take equity, and they would
If they wanna
reduce
give you-
700K from the 1.2 million.
500K.
700K.
700 in liquidity.
So no, so 700K the legal cost plus the white label solution plus some liquidity. Let's say we could start at 100K.
Okay, so there's a potential deal. So potential deals are nice to have. It means like the market acknowledges it. Okay, they will look at you and they will say, hey, you know what? Like we can work with this guy. Okay, cool. So this is a nice one here to have. Okay. Do we know these guys? Are they a big exchange or?
Yes. So they're a big exchange. I don't want to name.
You don't want to name.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. That's fine. I understand this on this stage. Cool. All right, good. So you have some leads in the market. You have some things you're discovering. When are you gonna get out? I know I've been asking.
We're waiting for an LOI. So we have. So okay. So from that 120 clients that we brokered these coins, these bitcoins to, they invested between 7 and 30K the price of Bitcoin. So today these clients are very happy, and they have trusted the consultancy service we gave them. And some of them are ready to reinvest in Walleti. I personally haven't, and we have a couple of investors that are ready to invest. But I haven't taken the decision to actually raise the funds because a couple of months ago, we didn't know if our product was plausible in the UAE or not. Because we not only, so until we reached Vara, it took us at least 2 months to get to the key people there that confirmed that we just need a cryptocurrency exchange license. And given that our prepaid cards do not need specific licenses, as long as they are just being redeemed on the Walleti platform. So that took us some time. And I didn't want to raise money before being sure that the product can happen. So right now we're just waiting for a LOI from this exchange or another one, and after we get that LOI, we can start fundraising.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to Corine with this one here. So he doesn't need the money. Should he raise money or not?
So now you're on a standstill waiting for the LOI?
Yes. Yes, until they finish their due
and
diligence.
this is for the trust part?
For the cryptocurrency exchange.
But no, it gives you credibility, and it's for the client's credibility and trust.
It's not for the clients, for myself.
So do you give consultancy on the app, like the consultancy?
No.
So this is...
No, so the application, you just scan and you redeem, and you can manage, it's just spot. You cannot buy future contracts or options or etc. It's a simple to use cryptocurrency exchange. And you can exchange inside the app later on, and you can withdraw and cash out. That's the critical path.
Because then I'm just saying, and clients are happy when they win always, but they're not happy when they lose. So بكرة
my
إذا you know
clients-
whenever it
Yeah.
ثابت maybe they were at a good time but they could have been يعني delayed a couple of that
So
we
if you
couldn't have.
sold in between the two bull runs, you
She can
lost.
never call the top and the bottom. But anyway,
Nobody,
it's
but,
different.
but if they're still holding, they're at the, so right now it went down
Okay.
10K, but they're still at the top.
So now, okay, so you're waiting on those LOIs,
Yes.
and then as soon as you get them, you'll ask for probably 700K, AMA 1.2,
500.
etc. Huh?
500. 500.
500K if you get it. But you had a scenario of 1.2 if you don't get it.
Correct.
Right? So are you working on this 1.2?
So
And why are you simply waiting for the LOI? ما
because
عندك
putting up, so the licenses are going to cost us 400K just up front without doing anything. So that's a very big burden for myself to undertake. And for that reason, we would much prefer this type of deal. And if it doesn't, I don't think we're going to go for the 1.2 million. We would rather go, let's say, and launch in Cyprus, where a license would cost us 50 to 80K instead of putting 400K.
Well, and the 500K would be for technical, for the technology
No.
part?
So
شو use of
technology
proceed?
part,
Like, what's the use of proceed of the 500K?
so the 500K is 60K for the development, 240K for marketing, and 200K for management and operations and printing the cards and etc. And buying the SKU positioning inside the retail shops.
What was your question? Should he fundraise? Your question was, should he fundraise?
Should he fundraise? So he said he doesn't need the money right now. Should he fundraise? And the answer is always yes, guys. Okay? So my main concern...
I don't agree.
Almost. In this case, like if he's not moving, right?
He's not moving. Yet you have a $1.2 million plan that you said that you're gonna. This is, you know, the worst case scenario if
Yes.
none of the others work. And my question, why aren't they running at the same time? يعني you know you do it all, the VC, accelerator, and try to find probably a partner that would.
So I have no problem onboarding a partner, but I haven't met the right partner so far, and I don't want to onboard anybody.
Thank you.
And it is the legal part that is very hard in the UAE. And for that reason, we're thinking of if the grandfathering under another cryptocurrency exchange that already has a VARA license, if that doesn't work, we're going to target another jurisdiction.
No, it's very valid to target somebody who already has it. I know it takes 2 years in the UAE.
Yeah.
Okay, so it makes a lot of sense to partner up with someone. Is this working? Okay. So another question, a little bit of a different angle. Do you have advisors? Who do you have with you? Who's supporting you outside of iPark? We know you have iPark and Prior,
Yes.
etc.
So previously at the accelerator, we had Dr. Bijan Azad.
Okay.
Now we're at the iPark.
Okay. Are you getting domain experts, like key opinion leaders in the place where you want to head?
No.
Have you tried messaging them, talking to them?
Yes, we're trying to talk and
It's a little bit hard to reach.
reach out to everybody. Yes.
Okay.
So the issue, there's a lot of bureaucracy, and the bureaucracy is taking time.
Okay.
يعني
Have
مثلا, yeah.
So there's
Sure.
Token 2049, there's Agora, there's you know all these large events in the UAE. Have you tried to go and attend, just attend and meet people?
No,
Okay. So
But why?
because we were busy with the accelerator before. So because we didn't have a product that is ready.
So now that's probably your plan going forward?
Correct.
Okay.
okay. So it's like, you know, you have a business that's working, but you're going to school. Okay? And this is where I could, you know, I'm not discrediting any accelerator. Like it gets you all the connections, but that's not a good excuse for me. Right? It's not a good excuse for me to not go for, you know, 3 days, go and meet people in your industry, okay? And I'm not saying it in a bad way to criticize you. I'm saying it in a way that I'm, you know, I'm feeling for you, okay? You need to go and do this. And, you know, next time if you're not there, let me know. I will connect you to places.
Sure.
So before you traveled, did you connect to any cybersecurity company, elite cybersecurity company in Lebanon to try to prove your model, to try to see who else thinks that this idea is great other than academia? لأنه هلا كلنا عم نحكي we're still on the academy. The business word is harsher.
That's why cybersecurity.
And sorry, crypto.
In Lebanon, crypto.
لا no. Did you? That we have no success story or anyone can test it for you? ولا بتقلي I'm ready, technology is ticked خلاص.
لا, the technology, we're building a coupon management
But
system
the
on the
idea
front
and
end.
the whole.
On the back
يعني
end,
someone
we're
like
doing
him.
a white label solution.
Someone like him, but not him. لأنه we're standing here. But can't we find someone that has his skills in Lebanon too that you
Yes.
can approach?
Sure.
The founder of Agora is here in Lebanon. Okay,
Okay.
so Agora helped fundraise over 500 million for crypto companies. Okay, and then 3 of the top 100 blockchain companies fundraised at Agora. Okay, and he's
Okay.
here. Okay, so
Till
what I'm
when?
saying is you're not.
Till when سألوا?
Yeah,
Okay.
we have 5 minutes, but so I need you to look enough. So
But till when? Till when?
till when?
He's in
No,
town,
he needs to
till
look
when?
and execute. He needs to look at.
No, you're investor. The Agora lead. He's in town till when?
Oh, he lives here.
He lives here. Huh.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, he lives here, and then he goes
Sure.
back and forth. Okay, disclaimer: I'm an investor in Agora, so.
Okay.
All right, but okay, so there are outlets.
Okay.
What I'm saying here is, I need you to break out of the shell and talk to people. Okay, and I'm not saying it in a way to. Again, guys, I know the theme is grilling, but this is.
That's why we're taking part in the acceleration and with AUB, and we're doing this second acceleration as well.
I don't want you to be a perpetual student syndrome person.
Okay.
Okay, so you don't want to keep learning. You want to go out and meet the people.
All right.
Okay, so get out.
Okay.
Okay, so, and I think this is a plus. He will get out. Okay, you will talk to people. Will talk to people. I know you're open because you're in an accelerator program, but you want to go and proactively meet the right people as well.
All
Okay,
right.
cool. And there's another startup in your ecosystem. Did you talk to them? Like there's one in a prior, so, Ali for the other Jammour. So he's
They pivoted.
he pivoted.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Did you talk to other co-founders
Yes.
at iPark that are in this space?
So we met them at
Okay.
iPark.
Do they have the same experience, or they have people they know? Or?
So they're working for a B2B
Okay.
type
So
of
they're pivoting?
solution.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Hello, guys. Something about B2C. B2C is one of the most complicated things to get happening right. Okay, it needs volume. Okay, you don't do B2C without good volume. Okay, hello. He's proven some volume here, which is good. Okay, so B2C requires a lot of volume, requires fundraising down the line, requires growth. Okay, hello. We were very focused on a lot of different components. We didn't dig too deep into the character. We drilled a bit. So it was a bumpy thing, okay? But I think you've basically touched certain things, and you've probably noticed some patterns that you want to break,
Yeah.
okay? Anything we could have done better in here to, to ask you the right stuff? Anything that we should have asked you and we didn't?
Just before you answer that, I will just on the talk to people. أكيد talk to people, but you need to at the stage where you are, you need coaches and you need mentors.
Okay.
Even if the profile is an investor, do not approach him to fundraise.
Sure.
You're not there yet.
Yeah.
Don't go
Okay.
fundraise now. If you want to fundraise, you have to go through the acceleration program outside Lebanon. If you want to get it, as he said, you get a 10% success rate, and you apply to 50. You get you get 5 depending on the model, cash, cycles that they have. But don't go and fundraise at this stage unless it's from the 3 Fs or a technical, as he said, a strategic partner who would fast forward your growth.
Sure.
Cool.
Even if you get the LOI?
No, هيديك خلص.
Okay. So that's what we're betting.
But no, but again, أنت قلت لي there is plan A, B, و C.
Yes.
You said A is 1.2 if you don't get it. 2 is 500,000 if you get it. طيب بنضل نايمين ناطرين ال LOI؟ لا. you roll the first one until you get the second.
All right.
Apply for accelerator. Meanwhile, اجى LOI, bravo, or not, or who knows, شو.
So you're advising him to parallelize his world, right? Like going
To try all, do everything at the same
get
time.
everything lined up, okay? And then, you know, you can make choices and pivots.
All right.
Okay? Cool?
Cool. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Are you up for a challenge, Rafiq? Sure. Are you up? B2C, he's B2C, right? And you have a prepaid crypto with you. How about you try to go and sell it to someone at the UB campus and bring them back with you here? You have 10 minutes. Sure. Let's do that. And by the way, that was Nahla's idea.
Just follow him.
Just
Take
what?
content.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so for the second startup, it's a completely different industry. It's in cybersecurity. It's also B2B. We have Octopus Cybersecurity. It's AI, right? Octopus AI, exactly. So, and we have Ashraf Baini, the co-founder, and what they are doing is providing a cybersecurity system, aiding security managers to reduce human error. It's a broad definition. I'm looking forward to hear more about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rida. Hi, everyone. Hi, Abdo.
How are you?
Hi, Corine. I'm actually coming from Dubai, 52 degrees, so it's still the same heat here. So
So it's cold for you here?
kind of, yeah. I'm enjoying the weather, actually.
Who's enjoying the weather?
I'm enjoying the weather. So, Ashraf
your name?
Labaini. Ashraf Labaini.
Ashraf?
Yes. Octopus Cybersecurity.
And Octopus
Cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity?
No, it's Octopus.ai.
No, without the AI.
No AI.
But the feature is there.
Yeah, so
It's
why is
gonna
it not
be-
Octopus AI?
Everything is going into AI, but if you're gonna name it as an artificial intelligence, it's just a feature in my platform. So you're gonna be limiting me to a specific. However, I can do much more, machine learning and other stuff for it. So just a small intro about myself. I'm Ashraf Baini. I'm CEO and co-founder of Octopus Cybersecurity. I'm 37, below 40, father of two.
I like over 40.
So, a father of two
Thank you.
lovely boys. So, Octopus is actually a platform that helps IT security managers to really monitor all their cybersecurity configuration across the whole environment they have. At home, you have a router, you have probably small Alexas here and there, but when we talk about B2B, it's thousands of devices that they need to monitor, and they need to make sure that it's up to the cybersecurity standards across the world. Our job is a real-time monitoring, and that's where the name came from, because the octopus has 3 brains and a lot of tentacles to be able to reach across all devices.
Cool. I like the name, guys, so I'm going to give it a plus.
Give it a plus for the name.
The reason I'm saying like the name matters is like it's something that sticks with you for a long time, right? If you have a bad name, it basically gives you a hard time marketing it, telling people about it. If it can't be spelled right, like when people type it, they can't find it. So you want to make sure the name is good, it's good, well spellable. It can go on touch screens nowadays. You want to think about that. It can go on keyboards, and when you pronounce it, it goes well. Okay,
Exactly.
so it's a very good name.
I can mention a downside on the octopus name, because in the SEO is bad because it's a well-known name. Like you can search for octopus and all the animals comes on Google search.
Very valid perspective. If you search for octopus, you'll find 1,000 octopi.
Exactly.
Okay, but Octopus Cybersecurity, do you have a good domain for you? Are you ranking up there?
Not so far, because we're not focusing on the SEO
Okay.
for now. For now, our growth is mainly on the sales.
Okay, cool. All right, so he's 37. You're married. You have
Yes.
kids.
Yes.
Okay, so the reason, guys, I'm asking this is like, are you financing yourself? So we're gonna go back to finances. Most of startups die because of financing, so this is one, and a lot of them die because of co-founder fights. Okay, so do you have a co-founder?
Yes, I actually have two co-founders.
Two co-founders?
One of them is very close to me. He's actually my elder brother. My elder brother.
Okay.
So one of them is my elder brother. He's about 40, yes, just to make you calm about it. And he's the techie guy, so he's with us on Zoom somewhere. Amjad. Yeah. And we worked actually, me and Amjad, in the same company as well for 7 years.
Okay.
Together. And here, he opened this camera. We look alike, right?
Yeah, Amjad presented, I think.
Amjad presented before. I'm based in Dubai, Amjad based in Oman. Last time he was here.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're three co-founders.
Yes.
One is technical. You're the CEO, and who's the third?
The third is Saeed Al-Ghaiti. He's also with us as well. He's mainly the Chief Revenue Officer. So he's Chief Revenue Officer.
Chief Revenue Officer.
Yeah, he's responsible for the sales.
Okay. And I suppose it's not the first company you guys do?
It's actually the first company.
It's the first company you do, but you've worked together before?
We worked together in the same company, yes.
Okay. And
now,
you've succeeded at projects together?
Of course, definitely. We worked, actually Amjad was my direct manager for some time.
Okay.
And it was helpful for me because I even got promoted as we move forward and moved to Dubai to a multinational company. We definitely feel this as a success.
Okay. So there are a lot of signals, guys, here. So let me split them and dissect them so I can tell you what what I'm thinking. Okay. So one is they're not solos. They've worked in a certain industry. This is good. Second thing that can be good or bad is like working with siblings. Okay. So working with siblings, it could be a good or bad power dynamic, right? Sometimes he's your older brother. Now he wants to get something done his way. You're the CEO. Whose way do we go?
Don't ask about it. Yeah, definitely there is. Yes.
So this is something that we need to keep in mind. Okay, but overall, like they've worked together for a while. It means like it's kind of harmonious. It's not a risk like they're gonna leave tomorrow. They're all mature, relatively old, worked in a specific industry, in this industry before, right?
Cybersecurity.
So they've been in the industry for a good while. They know people. So these are a bunch of good stuff. Okay, so. To what scale it's good, that's a different story, okay? But at least it's a good infrastructure to start looking at, okay? So, domain positioning, okay? So he's well positioned in this domain, okay? So you worked in that multinational, so you have some kind of an approval in the cybersecurity. Like cybersecurity is very trust-driven. Okay?
True.
If I don't trust you, I don't install your software, I don't use you. This is how hard it is. It's super brutal as an industry, okay? And then this is when I'm gonna ask about like who your mentors are, who the advisors are that we can put on the deck, et cetera, et cetera. Like this is gonna be a key play. So trust is gonna be a key play. It's gonna be it's a brutal market, okay? So that could be here, but I'm putting it outside, okay? How are you financing yourself? Like you left everything for it, or you're still like working at?
May I just ask a couple of questions before you move to the topic? So for the name, what you always hear is if you have double O, it will become a unicorn. So you have Google, Yahoo. And I remember a couple of years back, every entrepreneur in Lebanon had a name with a double O. And every time you ask them, how come there is a double O? And every name would be a billionaire. Yahoo, Google, فكر فيها. Think about the top 10, they have double O's.
Might be a confirmation bias.
Anyways, just for the joke, to wake up the guys. And then for the sibling, Anna, I would be more interested to know about the shareholding structure, because we can avoid the sibling issue by having an appropriate governance. And okay, Akid, you're a startup, we don't have the right governance, but the shareholding structure against the third independent guy is key. So how much does each of you hold in this company?
Exactly, and I think I can link as well to the financing structure that we have, because currently I'm still working, and that's why I'm financing my family and even helping in the Octopus. Amjad is fully on board on Octopus, so he's dedicated for it. That's one of the reasons I have the lowest shareholder. Amjad has the highest shareholder equity in it. And my main job is actually on the investment side, on the connections. Because of my current role, I'm currently a regional channel manager across Eastern Europe, Middle East, Turkey, and Africa. So I have a lot of connections across the region that will help explore more in terms of the introductions towards Octopus cybersecurity. So it plays a role in
So
that
what is
aspect.
the shareholding
So
structure?
Amjad is the
Percentage-wise,
highest.
at the
Amjad is 46%.
Okay.
And myself 15, and Saeed 25. And we have an option pool as well, dedicated for this.
So this is fine. لأنه at the board level, when decisions are done, you have, and Anna would have been a problem if the two siblings were the highest two shareholders. هون لا, he only انت 15%, so he cannot move the needle with his brother, and that's a good thing, even if it's a family-owned.
It doesn't have to be just siblings. It could be friends moving the needle together, etc., etc. I'm just talking.
No,
about,
that's every day.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
That's politics. It's different.
All right.
That's true.
So there are a few things here that we're learning. It's a common way. A lot of people stay at work and still run a startup. Okay. The good thing about it is that he's working in this domain, which means like he can use the relationship he has to basically nourish this startup. Okay. The drawback is, when does he leave? Like if we need to, if a client is upset and he needs to call you and you're at work, right? So they're three, they can manage, but this is a risk, okay? So this is fine enough, guys. Like, don't make it a hurdle for you. You can start if you're still working, it's fine, not a big deal. But you need to set a limit. When do you want to start the startup for real, okay? Exactly. And if you're fundraising, like if you're gonna fundraise, it's gonna be tough to fundraise with somebody who's not committed, okay? True. So we look at this as like, hey, is he not committed enough? In this case, I see the strategic aspect of you basically staying at work. It makes more sense for you to stay at work than to leave it in this case.
To an extent. Now, definitely fundraising, if I approach and get my funding, which will definitely have a growth, then of course, probably there will be a commitment time frame to quit job and start focusing with Octopus for it, because at the end we need to grow it. Of course, it's not only the 15%, but also there will be more on a salary perspective to at least run the business.
Okay, cool. All right, so you are in the market. Have you validated the concept of what you have? So tell us about Octopus first.
Yes.
Like, what do you do in detail so we can like...
Yes, so actually we went into 2 accelerators before that, before iPark. So one was in Oman, and it was our first accelerator where we had the ID only. And the second one was from Estonia. From Estonia, Eastern Europe. And we had as well for equity, both as a safe investments, but it was also a learning curve for us on the accelerator.
So how long have you been doing the thing?
It's been 3 years since our first accelerator started.
Total?
Total. 2020, end of 2020, the idea started.
So you started as an idea in 2020?
Yes.
And then when did you actually...
And then 2021, we had our first accelerator. We started building
tell me about the product and
the MVP. We created first, of course, the prototype, and then started working on the MVP. We had some challenges which made us restart as well from the development perspective at the beginning.
So when did you start the MVP?
2021.
Okay, till?
Till, I can say 2022. Which when we started the second accelerator, okay, where we had, of course,
MVP. Tell me about product and market. Like, what have you done in the market? Like, so you built an MVP here?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ask your friends? Like, you're in the market.
Of course,
yeah,
definitely. So we had a lot of feedback. We had one sprint actually that we invited customers, and we started talking about the prototype that we built.
Did you sell anybody?
Yes, we have one customer.
One customer?
Yes,
when
one
did you
customer.
Get him?
We got him last year,
last year
2023. Yes.
Okay, so one customer.
One customer. We had multiple proof of concepts as well.
So when we say one customer, just for the guys to understand, like it's a business, right, guys? So how do you charge?
So
per
I-
user, per device?
per
Like,
device.
per
So I
device.
charge
How many devices
a
do they
yearly
have?
subscription license per device. We started this customer with 15 devices, and we got for him for a 2 years special price for 15K.
Okay.
Okay.
How many devices do they have now?
They no, they currently still not upgraded, but we're working on upgrading, so to add more devices. So what we do is we start with the main. So they decided to start with their main devices, and then based on the performance that they and recognition that they are getting, they're gonna increase.
Have they renewed?
They're gonna renew next year. It's a 2-year contract.
So it's a 2-year contract.
Yes.
Okay, good. So what he's done is like he's learned this in his job right now, and he's using it. 2-year contracts give him enough time to. So he has a little bit of an experience here in his job, which is good. Okay. And then this allowed him to strike the right contract here. So 15 devices to be renewed after 2 years. It gives him enough time. The drawback is you don't have a lot of more time anymore, right? Like it's 2025 is almost here.
Yes, and especially it's a government, so it's gonna take time as well.
Okay.
However, our product is sticky, so we are.
can't leave you easily.
Exactly. So our retention as well is very good in terms of the renewals that will happen.
Cool. Yeah, go ahead.
Retention of what?
Of the
You
customer.
have one client.
They can't leave him.
Yeah.
They're stuck. In general,
So-
like these kind of stuff.
If we're gonna say like let's say a B2C, you subscribed a monthly of Netflix, and the first time you didn't like it.
I think you should. Sorry, I don't know
No,
the
no,
person.
no, it's
Just
not
for the
statistically
joke,
relevant.
I cannot not say it. I have to say it. If you have one client and he signed last year, you should fire your chief retail officer. مش retail شو سميت لي chief revenue officer.
Yeah.
Other than it's a weird position يعني. Have you ever heard of a chief revenue officer?
Chief revenue officer?
CRO. Is it common? CRO. So you should fire your CRO. One client in a year is out of this world. ولا أقول له شيء. ولا أقول له
Okay,
شيء.
but again, when we look at the sales cycle,
I'm
that we
exaggerating
have
for the fun.
Cybersecurity takes a long time.
Yes,
So
and that comes
I
to
would
the
have given him
trust.
a hard time about it.
One.
That comes
So when he
brings
asked
up
you,
the
you have a
trust
client,
topic.
أنا فكرت like no. What قال one? I was like no.
So that brings up the trust topic.
But what
for
Corine
it.
is saying is like it's not statistically relevant to say you have retention, right?
Yeah, of
so
course.
there's one customer, but it's a good signal. Okay, it's a good signal, but it's not retention yet. Okay, so the product takes a long time, and these kind of industries it takes a long time. Okay, it's a lot of pre-investment. So not leaving the job early on to get something done makes sense. Okay, so it takes a little bit of time to meet it, and then but you still need to engage with the people early on because it's sales cycle of sometimes 18 months.
Correct.
You know, it takes about 18 months to close these deals.
Exactly.
Okay? Guys, this is a long tail game. So what we call this, it's you know, in business, you make money in this like after 15 years. Okay? And the long tail here, it means like this is kind of business like that's making, let's say this is a long tail. And for making money here, okay? We're making more money here in this business than we're making sometimes in here. Okay? So spike businesses that go spike and disappear sometimes don't necessarily make as much money as long tail businesses. Okay? So this is a long tail business. Now, is it investable for an early stage investor? That's a different question. Okay? And then if you haven't replicated the model, a later stage investor is not going to look at you. Okay? So that's another problem. Okay? But here we're talking about, you know, this is the model that we're talking about. Okay? So you're staying at work, it's fine, but you need to accelerate this because, you know, these compound over time. Okay? So they're not appearing in this curve here, but they will compound over time. And so you need to start the cycle. Okay? To how many people are you talking? Tell us, you know, I want to see numbers.
Yes. So we worked it in 2 directions. Okay. One is LinkedIn because LinkedIn.
LinkedIn?
Yes. So
you already have a lot of customers.
1,800
You can't talk to them? Do you have
followers, and that's one of the plans to start cold outreach to these followers as well that we have.
I'm saying, like, do you have a non-compete with your company that you can't talk to your customers as?
I do the introductions only.
Okay.
for it. Okay, but I don't go into details for it. Even the persona is different. There is no conflict of interest. If you
Okay,
can say
there's no
for it.
conflict of
Yeah.
interest. It's a different
Exactly.
thing. Okay.
Different product completely
Okay.
that doesn't compete.
Okay, cool. So this is good.
Yes. The other part is, of course, the market knowledge, because Amjad and Saeed are both based in Oman. And we had a lot of presentations with customers, meetings, demonstrations. We went up to proof of concepts as well. And it's ongoing. I think we have 2 upcoming proof of concepts this month and potential
Can you
customers.
say the numbers again? Like, I want to elucidate this.
Yes, so we have currently
What's
upcoming.
the queue like? So we're going to draw a funnel here,
Yes.
right? So what's the funnel like?
Okay,
So when
so-
we're talking B2B, guys, you want to draw a funnel. You want to see how many you're meeting, how many
Yes.
are engaging with you, and then how many are closing. And then you can rinse and repeat these. Like, it's not, if I said no, it's the end of the world.
Yes.
Okay, we can rinse and repeat.
So we have around 50 leads currently.
50 leads?
Yes.
Okay.
We have identified 10 opportunities.
Okay.
Okay. And we're going on the stage of the technical qualification now with 4 potential customers.
Okay. So 4 told you they're willing to explore the
They're gonna test it.
Okay,
Yes.
this is a good conversion, guys, here. So this is a very nice signal for me, okay? So 10 that basically talk to them, they're open to do the technical work, okay? Doing technical work means like it's going to be tough on them to let somebody in their, routers, right? So you go in the routers.
Yes. Not
Yeah.
only the
So
routers,
going
multiple.
in the routers
Yeah.
is something that's dangerous. And if 4 people trusted you, I suppose they're in the UAE?
In Oman, in Muscat, Oman.
Muscat, Oman. Okay. All right, so he went to another market, which is more accepting, I suppose.
Actually, Amjad and Saeed both are based in Oman.
All of these
so they're
4 are in
on their market. Yes.
Okay. So these are in Oman. How big is the market in Oman?
It's we can say like I can give probably 100K to 200K a yearly for us as an anticipation.
100K, 200K what?
For us as an
Customers
anticipated, paying customers.
Paying customers?
Not 100K customers, 100K
Okay,
dollars.
so 100,000
Per
to
year.
200,000 potential paying customers. What's an average number of devices they have?
But talking about 50 to 100 to start
50
with.
to 100.
Yes.
100,000 paying customer or $100,000 in revenue?
$100,000 in revenue.
In revenue.
Yeah.
And revenue. So
Yeah.
we're not talking about 100,000 customers.
No. We're talking, because ours is.
I'm trying to size the market. How big is it?
Ours is like enterprise to medium level corporates. So we're talking about banking, government sector, military, these main big customers. Yeah, so if we're gonna talk about Oman, probably like 1,000 customers, that's the total addressable market that you will see.
So 1,000 customers with, on average, let's
On
say
average,
50 devices.
50 to 100
So that's
devices.
50,000 devices. How much do you charge per
500.
device? 500
Per device,
per year.
per year.
Okay, so it's 500 per year. Okay, so the target is $5 million a year.
Yes.
Okay, so this is if you capture the whole Omani market.
If I capture the whole
Okay.
Omani market.
Cool.
My target customers, yeah.
So a little thing about branding, guys, when it comes to cybersecurity, okay? So that's something to pay attention to. If you're starting in the US and coming to Oman, they will adopt you more easily, right?
Yes.
If you're starting in Oman and you go to the UAE, is it gonna shoot you in the foot? That's something to
That's
think about.
True, and we already thought about because our company is registered in Delaware, US.
Okay,
So our head office is actually in Delaware, US.
okay.
And that was one of the main reasons, is that coming from the US as the
Better
company name, the branding. However, our team is based in Oman, and that's why we are focused starting from there.
So the Oman is because of the accelerator.
Not only the accelerator, because Amjad and Saeed are both there.
Ah, okay,
also.
okay.
Cool. Questions? Do you want to take over a little bit?
So you're fundraising now?
We're fundraising now.
How much?
Yes. We're looking for 700K.
What's the use of proceeds?
Mainly growth and research and development that we're looking for, because we're going to hire sales. Now we already validated the product with one paying customer. We need to validate the market more and try to expand as well to the UAE, even to Saudi Arabia, because these are bigger markets.
So who are the other 5 clients that you're working on now?
There's 2 banks, and there is another government, and there is an oil and gas company we discussed with.
And what's the percentage of closing on any of those deals?
I can say for the POCs requested, we are now on 30%. Okay. Once they qualify technically, probably we can move to the to technically closed, and then I think we're on 90%. It's just the budget that they're gonna get it. And of course, if it's a government, it will go into a public tender, and this also will create more timeline for us just to respond to that RFP.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, cool.
I'm just going through the sales
It's
pipeline.
you know what,
strategy.
I tell you why I don't have a lot of questions, because really cybersecurity is the key word. It's the most sexy word on the street. You have to go fast, you have to move fast. الشباب طايرين يعني, you know, 1 client to 5 in the pipeline, أنجا نتذكر الأسامي. This is not acceptable because you're in a wonderful sector.
If you want, I can give you the names.
No, you know, it's technology, it's fast. بدك تحمسنا يعني, you should make it appealing. هو يعرفك على نص العالم, you know. Cybersecurity, you have 2, 3 really big companies. I'm sure you've heard of.
I work with one.
يعني من بوتك وجر يعني, you know, you have experts, you have people that have done it. Did you talk to them? Did you went fast? Did you try to merge? عايشنا هيك, you know what I'm saying? It's tough. I know.
I can go
the
with
hardest,
this story till you get to
the hardest job in the world is entrepreneurship, really. I salute all the entrepreneurs. I'm an investor, and I will never move to the other side. I will never move to the other side. حتضل on the investment side. It's really very hard. وأنا شخصياً بقول لهم, I cannot make it. So salute لكل الشغل, and I'm sure how hard it is to have a job and to do, you know, your startup at the same time. والله هيدا really شابو عليها. But نحن, your dream is to accelerate the startup. So, you know, هيك بدك تعيشنا إياها. You need to go faster, and it's a sexy topic. Your pitch should be as sexy. هيدا بس.
Understood.
وأنا ماني technical. He is the technical guy. So أنا, you know, from a business perspective, I hear it. I really ما بحس رح أرجع أسألك عنها when I see you next time, you know.
You know, with all this technology that is growing, everything is going to cloud, to digital. I think cybersecurity is the only domain that's gonna be there forever, because AI is there. Cryptocurrency should be secure. Decentralization it's the structure, and you need that cover on security for it.
لعبتوا له Corine هو acceleration, which is always needed. Okay. هلا engaging with 50-10-4 seems good to me in this industry. It's very, very tight. He doesn't have a lot of customers. It's a very long tail game. Like, you're not going to make money for another 10-15 years. For VC to come in, like, this is also a very, very long tail. Like, usually they avoid it, and I know this. Like, I've been on, you know, on discussions with, you know, probably you know Sonic.
I'll tell you.
I was on discussions with Sonic, okay, and even Sonic was having a hard time fundraising. Okay, you're talking about like some of the best in the world in Silicon Valley, and you know they're doing this, and they were having, I don't know today, but they were having a hard time fundraising, okay?
Yeah.
It's a very cash-intensive thing.
Exactly.
Relatively lower risk than the other stuff once you start getting good clients, because they don't leave, right? But usually you don't make a multiplier for the VCs, okay? It's a small multiplier game. But it's a good business for you,
That's
Okay. So the question is, so again, guys, here I'm thinking like, hey, should I invest? It might be a good business, right? It doesn't mean it's investable. It doesn't mean it's attractive to early stage or later stage. I did one cybersecurity-oriented company just recently with iPark, actually, Access Off. I don't know if you met them.
no, not yet.
Yeah. So that's a consumer B2B as well, but it's a different direction, okay? And I thought I was strategic for that one, okay? So when I think I'm strategic, it's different, okay? This game is very, could be very good, okay? Usually it doesn't suit me here because I can't bring value, right? And you always, like we said, like talk about your positioning. I'm not strategic to this one. I need to know like 10 big companies, and we need to go and basically try to sell them for 5 years.
Yes.
Okay? So this is the direction for this one. But it definitely has merit. Okay? I need to know the technical details to know how much merit.
Bless you.
But the microphone. Hey, cool. And so cool. Let's go more in character since we have. It'll be more fun for the rest of the guys. Okay.
Great.
So can you tell us about an experience where you didn't quit?
Every day I quit, but I didn't say loud. No, it's always the ambition that drives you how to go forward. That's personally. For me, I've never quit unless I'm going to a different level, an upper level. That's where we're working. So my experience of 15 years, I switched to 3 companies, and the 3 companies were just like a promotion for me.
Okay.
So that was the only reason I quit. That's where I work 9 to 5. Totally different from Octopus.
Okay. So there are 2 types of people in general, right? So he's probably not quitting because he's comfortable, or he's not quitting because he's not a quitter. And for us, we always have to determine which it is, right? A lot of times, if you have the bad people staying in the company, I worry, okay? Like, why are they not quitting? Okay, because like the average is bad.
Yes.
Okay? And then if you're quitting too much, it's also a problem. Like, am I the problem? أخذهم كلهم شفيق. Cool. Good. Cool. So, all right. So this is something to determine. 2, we said you had co-founders. So you're financing your family. So this is part of potential. Thank you. Potential. Also another reason why it's a little bit harder for you. And it's also like not always a problem. Michael Dell started at 50 with 5 children, okay?
Yes.
All right, so, cool. Yeah, I don't have further questions here. So,
What's your 10x factor? What are you doing better than anyone else in this sector so that you dream to become the next unicorn?
Okay.
Secret sauce. What's the small secret that you're doing better than the rest? You can be faster, you can be cheaper, you can be both of them.
So, of course, there are a lot of competitors in the market, to be frank. Especially in the cybersecurity, you might find like 20 vendors competing against each other. Now, what really differentiates us is a real-time monitoring and that machine learning concept that is there, where I understand the customer, how he works, and provide him with suggestion or a mitigation key to really execute or react to remediate his configuration.
Versus what Potek has.
Versus products that they do just auditing, send you a report. They do it like on hourly basis, or we're on real time.
Okay.
Any change at any time, it will directly raise an alert from us. And it can go now. Our strategy is to go to every digital device for it. This is how we are looking forward for it. Of course, machine learning, we started the design for it, and we're working on the implementation for it. And of course, AI is our next step.
Good luck.
Yeah, questions?
So how hard would it be for, sorry, how hard would it be for your competitor to go from an hourly report to real time as well? What's the barrier of entry?
Can you repeat the question for people online?
Okay, so how would the other competitors deploy that hourly, change it to real time? It might be easy for them, but one of my main competitor, he's been like 20 years in the market, his Tripwire, and to be frank, they didn't evolve because their base software is built on something that is hourly based. For it. So that might be hard for them to change it. However, now with current year that was like 20 years ago wasn't there, now it's there and we are working on it. So might be this option or I'm not sure if, because real time is always a value for it, so we can dig more into it and check it.
You know, it's not trendy. You know, in Lebanon, it is very trendy to talk about fundraising, but it is not trending at all to talk about merger or share swap. So, you know, an alternative way of growing faster is to merge. Wala la, you know, M&A whole.
That's my exit strategy, actually.
أكيد بس you know until that day يعني اليوم هلا I don't know أكيد
but now I'm not gonna sell myself like for
you can either fundraise to do what you want to do or you can go and merge أما تعمل share swap ما حدا عامله so that you sell faster. That's what I'm saying, unless بتقلي my idea is نزلت من السما and you know no one has. So I'm just saying for every entrepreneur أكيد مش أنت I'm not in this sector specifically but mergers and share swap يعني you find them a lot in the MENA بتلاقيها كتير بمصر بتلاقيها Europe وهول أكيد you know بس for some reason بلبنان we recreate always يعني every startups that comes in recreate a whole company وقت majority again it's not you nor the previous startup but then what they're doing is a function of startup أما certain عرفت one vertical of something big just for the fun of it. أنا بقيم I am. So I used to work at Insure and Match Capital, which is a venture capital fund. I remember يعني, we used to see in a year between 200 to 300 startup. You would be sure that 30% are coming with exactly same ideas. You know, and then مثلا اجينا مرة just for the laugh, and again it's but just for the idea. اجينا مثلا حدا an entrepreneur that has an app for walking the dogs. Another app that has to buy foods for the dogs. A third app to buy, you know, it's a type of, it's a hotel thing, بياخدهم بيمشيهم قال, whatever. Right? There were 3 different startups, 3 different entrepreneurs, 3 different teams, each one raising 100 to 200 back at the time. Really, يعني بنعمل one app that has, you know, services to dogs, etc. So, you know, هيدا البيبينير models and, you know, the small ones, and I think, you know, it should change.
So let me do an invitation to the ecosystem here, like from what you're saying, okay? So this basically resonates with what Peter Thiel says in 0 to 1, okay? So we're talking about like whether you start your own company or you partner up with somebody else to do another company, okay? And as a culture, I'm worried that a lot, as you're saying, a lot of the founders just want to start, okay? Sometimes building something with somebody else can be more valuable, okay? It can get you both further than, you know, just one person doing the thing. And, you know, I'm happy you have co-founders in here, but a lot of times, like, joining forces with the right people can get the whole thing to be bigger, okay? So this is what Corine is saying here, okay? And another concept of fundraising is human raising, okay? So bring in that other person that can help you out, okay? And as people in the community, we need to, you know, help startups, join startups, okay? And then you'll grow it with them instead of like just thinking, how can I build one, okay? So think about how can we as community build together, okay? This is something that is not very common in here. I've seen it very sparsely, okay? I've seen, you know, in East Asia, it's more common. They work together.
Yeah.
for as a group, okay? And here we don't, and we should change this, okay? So we should do better grouping, and I think this is what you're alluding to. And
Yeah, building a product, building a product is completely different than building a company. That's my main key takeaway.
No, I think based on your feedback really brings up to my mind as a brainstorming that I'm looking now for AI to be implemented. So if there is any AI startup that is there that can join forces.
And
would be
VC
an
like,
option.
they like those stories. La. Fundraise to pay salaries is, something that we don't really like to see, but fundraising to acquire an entity that has already done or do is, more appealing. خاصة, especially nowadays when the money is really very dry.
cool. Anyone wants to ask questions in here?
Question online. Just a second.
And Shafiq, come in maybe.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, we open the floor for the questions, but one is asking, are you applying some classification algorithms and doing clustering on alerts and devices? So maybe that's for Amjad, the CTO.
Yeah, I think Amjad responded to that. So mainly, machine learning is, we're working on implementing the machine learning in the algorithm to really know exactly each device, how it works, and of course, learn from it and build it or compare it against the best practice from a cybersecurity perspective.
There you go.
Any other question?
Hi. Thanks a lot for this interesting real talk. So I just have a question concerning that. You were mentioning that entrepreneurs are recreating things. So does that root back to the lack of trust and idea stealing that people are built upon in the culture? Or is it something else? Yes.
No, copycats are good. كيف هيدا كريم? It's...
Yeah, but you were mentioning the dog, walking the dog, feeding the dog,
yeah,
like
just
combining
team
them
up.
together. Like, what's the
Features.
reason why not everyone are
Because
doing
each
things
of the
together?
Dogs, not copycats that she was talking
and,
about.
because I'm saying it's features versus products versus companies. And أنا هيك ختمتها. Building a product or a feature has nothing to do with building a company. If you team up all together, instead of each مثلا one of those has a marketing department, a sales department, we're all talking about the same end value.
And the
which is,
same target.
But عرفت شو قصدي؟
Yeah.
Team up, it's cheaper. It's cheaper, and this is, growing horizontally instead of growing
So
vertically.
what's your advice and what are like the actionable steps for
merger.
entrepreneurs to do
Merge.
so?
If you can find, it's very hard to fundraise today. Money is very little, but you want to go faster and you want to grow your product. So you have two ways of doing it. Either you team up with people and individuals who would give you, who would take an equity stake against their time in your company. This is one way of doing it. Or go and find another startup that has done what is missing in your entity and can be a complementary. لأنه when does a company become, in Lebanon maybe أكيد it varies from one country to another, but when all the eyes of the VCs open, حتى لو early stage, you have a revenue that should cross $1 million. So if today you're selling at 200K and 250K, and you've been doing that for the past 2-3 years, what do? You cannot fundraise, like your company خلاص, is not growing as faster as investor would want to do. So what do? Either you stay still, or بتقولي I need to find a way to take my revenue from 250 to $1 million, one shot. How can you do it? Either you partner up with those people that would give you their time against equity of your company, and this is the partnership that he was referring to all the time, or you go find someone that has already done it, بصير your revenue بصير consolidated. إذا أنت 250 وهيداك 250 وهيداك $500,000, So it's
Sum
just,
of together,
it's
people,
working
yeah.
around it best.
Yeah, a little disclaimer about
Thank you.
mergers. Mergers are super complicated, okay? Early stage, relatively much easier. Mergers can get super complicated. Cultural clashes. decision making, who's leading, right? Like you're talking about 3 companies merging in here. Who's leading? Whose opinion matters? How do we drive this company? Vision, etc. So yeah, so but it's good to join forces. Like I prefer like one bigger one swallowing the others. Yeah, yeah, and then that's faster than fundraising. And I've seen people do this, especially bigger ones, swallowing smaller and moving faster. So this is a very good strategy to move rapidly. Okay, but yeah, keep an eye on mergers of similar sizes. It has a lot of risk. Okay, cool.
Another question here.
Hi. Thank you for this amazing session. I want to ask Ashraf, what is the value proposition of your startup, and what are the competitive advantages that you hold against other similar companies? And one more question. I see that there are a lot of similar startups or companies that are really they have a lot of experience in cybersecurity. Why did you decide to go with this in this field, while others are maybe way ahead of you in this? But
Thank
first,
you.
the value proposition.
That's 2 good questions. Yes. To start with the first one, our value proposition is always the real-time monitoring that we do across the devices, and we also work on the machine learning and the ability to remediate. So even with a one-click, an IT security manager can execute a remediation script that will replace all the configuration with the best practice. What gives us an edge as well is that we're building the database from the vendors' specific best practice policies towards the Octopus VAR. It's actually, the product is VAR. And if you know the VAR for the football, probably it's the same, because the referee always checks with the back end. And now here we are checking with our platform to validate that, okay, this is a best practice or not. Now, for the second questions, there are competitors that have been in the market for more than 20 years. And they have multiple features that cover, probably like on the servers, they have that feature. On the devices, they are looking on their own device structure. Let's take, for example, Cisco, they have some monitoring for it. Probably there is Palo Alto, they have one for their own devices. But what we look at is a vendor agnostic strategy for it, whether on the server side or on the device side. I hope I answered both questions.
Hello, thanks for this event. And just I wanted to give an example of M&A you just mentioned. It happened between Spinners and Knock Knock, I think, if you heard of it. And I just wanted to emphasize also on the closed market here in Lebanon. All the startups, they don't share informations, or it's closed. They don't need to collaborate. I have a POS system company, and I talked with Knock Knock Market, Daughters. They refuse to send the orders from their applications to my system. So I had to build the product from the scratch. So it's true what you are saying. Maybe the government absence, maybe they don't put any, I don't know. In Saudi Arabia, they exist. You will see it a lot.
Let's be kind enough. You know, the VC ecosystem is very new in Lebanon. Yani everything started with the 331, which was in 2014 and 2015. And he clearly said, you know, we have a lot of first-time entrepreneurs in Lebanon. After another 5 years, 10 years, we will start seeing second-time, third-time entrepreneur. And I guess this is where, you know, the mind opens up. Mansir, you know, ala UAE and KSA, from an openness and sharing perspective.
Share, guys, if your product is good enough, okay, they will come to you. if you've presented to them. So from a POS perspective, okay, so I'm inviting you guys to team up together when you start the startups, okay? Now you're providing a product, okay? When you're providing a product, the market needs to say yes or no to it. So for it to say yes, you have to have good merit for it. Integrating with a third-party POS is very costly. If they want to be real-time, let's take market for example. If they're shipping, for example, a product, right? And they want to be real-time, they have to sync up with the POS all the time, okay? Syncing up with POS is costly, okay? Costly in terms of time, not money, okay? So it's not real-time anymore. They have to train the pickers to use your system, or they have to integrate with your system for pickers, okay? So they have to integrate. So there are a lot of components when it comes to software adoption. So it's not, you know, we don't have to say, hey, the government needs to push for a certain direction. It's the value of a product that needs to push for itself, okay? And us, we need to open up more.
I'm not talking about my product. I'm talking about all the companies that
Just a second.
If you guys can get close when...
okay. Forget my company. I'm saying even the big companies here in Lebanon, they don't collaborate together. Forget my product. I'm in this business since 15 years.
So he said that the big companies are not collaborating. Exactly.
How do you know that?
Because I'm in this market.
He's in the market. Yeah. So we have another question here.
Sorry, I will speak in Arabic. أثرتوا موضوع الميرجرز بس نسيتوا إنه نحن بلبنان، نحن بلبنان عقليتنا شوي سبيسيال. الميرجر بلبنان ما بيمشوا لأنه كلنا رياس وكلنا زعماء وكلنا ما بعرف شو. إذا بتلاحظوا الميرجرز اللي صاروا بالشركات الكبيرة بسنين قليلة رجعوا فشلوا. مين بده يترقص؟ مين سكند جنريشن؟ يعني نحن يعني حتى بلاد برا كل العالم الشركات هي فاميلي اون. بتبلش هيك وبتكبر شوي شوي حتى لو صاروا بابليك. فاذا ما غيرنا الكالتشر الميرج بلبنان ما بينجح. سوري بس هيدي كانت مداخله.
المشكله بلبنان هي انه the majority of the company 80% are family owned businesses and you know اهم شيء اللي عم بتقوله مزبوط بس اذا الكوربريت جوفرننس الحوكمه عم تطبق بطريقه مزبوطه هدول المشاكل ما بتصير لانه في يو نو تو دوز ودونز اكيد امان ايه اصعب شيء بالدنيا بس انه بقول لك وين نحن.
So to pivot the answer a bit, I wouldn't build a startup just for Lebanon. Okay, so هيدا أول شيء عم نحكي عنه. The rationale is the market is small, so if you're sharing the pie, there's not much to share. Okay, so this is why probably people don't want to share much. Okay, and I understand this. Okay, let's all grow the pie. If we all grow the pie and we build for global value, especially when it comes to tech. Okay, if you're building something that is local, it's a bit hard to export it, right? But if you're building in tech, it's very easily exportable. You don't have to have rules. You don't have to have anything, right? And then we can build together. This is when you can build together, okay? And but usually, guys, if you're building something and you want the access, you want somebody like you. Usually go to someone the same size as you, okay? If you're going someone who's much bigger, you have to bring either a lot of value or nimbleness. You're much faster to execute than they are. They'll adopt you, okay? But if you're bringing some okay value, not too much of an edge, somebody who's bigger will not deal with you, okay? So you can aggregate. So aggregation is very useful. Build many relationships. And then you can build on top of them, okay? But yeah, I agree with you. We should assist each other a little bit more, okay? Personally, I have a few groups of people. We're all helping each other, and a lot of them are Lebanese entrepreneurs. So yeah, this is why I'm saying, like, you know, there could be a lot of groups that you don't know about, and a lot of people helping each other that we don't know about, okay? So I don't want to generalize and say this is the case. But yeah, early stage, it's harder for you. Obviously, it's a lot of grind work.
One question here.
Hello, I have a direct question to Mr. Abdo. First, I'm really grateful to be part of this event. Second, I want to ask, I'm a second-year master's student in biomedical sciences in AUB. Okay? Yeah, I am a second-year master's student in biomedical sciences in AUB. So I want to ask, in case I am a researcher in medicine. How can I integrate this in what you're saying in certain startups or in business? Do you have any idea for researcher related to a medical field?
Okay, easiest way to start is to find somebody else who's doing it and help them. This is what I advise a lot of you guys. Building from scratch is going, so you want to learn and you go and take a pen and paper and you start learning. Go to a platform and learn from it, okay? Going to platforms, helping platforms bring value to them. I'm not just telling you go and learn and don't bring them value. This is bad. Go and bring value, and when you're bringing value, you can basically collaborate with them in the future, or you can help them, or you can become partner in that company. Okay? It doesn't always have to be like, how can I start a startup? Okay? Read 0 to 1. I really like the idea behind the book. Okay? It tells you how many people working together can bring an exponentially larger value than somebody working alone. Okay? And again, it's probably hypocritical, if you want to say, because I'm a solo founder, but I invest in others, right? So this is how I partner up with others.
And I would recommend that you check online a company called Meacor, MEACOR. He's a Lebanese entrepreneur, half Lebanese, half Canadian. He was a researcher at AUB. And then he traveled to do his master's in Canada. I don't remember the name of it. One of the top schools. He took the end of year project تبعوله and he went and fundraised for it. It was an alternative way of doing heart surgery. بيفوتوا بتلقسرة الرسار ما بعرف شو من الأجر, and they sue it instead of doing an open heart surgery. I remember he came to IM in 2016. He took 200K. And he found himself a couple of matching investors. He didn't go above the $1 million. 3 months ago, he raised his $15 million round. So, success stories are there.
Can I know the name of the author? 0 to 1, you told me about the
Peter Thiel.
Author Peter Thiel. So Peter Thiel basically invested early stage in Facebook. He's a co-founder of PayPal with Elon Musk. Okay, so Peter Thiel 0 to 1. Okay, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm mistaken, Mazboot?
Yeah. I believe. Thank you so much for your time. Okay, I have a question. It's about the dryness in funding here in Lebanon. So we have some examples of startups that went on a larger scale in innovative products. Example, Lemonade Fashion. Example, like Totters. They went like in a large scale, creative, innovative pathway, let's say. But for like idea stage startups currently now, with the lack of funding, with the dryness, it's not encouraging to go on a larger scale. So I believe we can go tackle like products that are missing in the market. I believe it's a more reasonable approach. I need your like opinions on the subject. Thank you.
So startup versus e-commerce.
Super early stage. How do you approach it? How do you start? And then if you don't have funding, what do you do? Right? So we're talking, I suppose, about tech startups. Okay? So the first thing you do is you find a technical person. Okay? So if you can't fundraise, you can human raise. Okay? You find a technical person that can help you build a prototype. Okay, so this is a small thing. Okay, obviously I'm assuming you found a hypothesis that you want to validate. Okay, there's a long way to get to the right hypotheses, right validations, etc., etc. This is why I invited you to go and work with somebody who's doing something. Okay, so you can learn the market, build relationships. So at Solutions, like the way we invest, we don't take 20-year-olds. Okay, we take domain experts. They've been in a business for 20, 30 years, okay? They know the market signals, they know the people, right? And this is the wealth, right? So this is my opinion. But again, early stage, there are various ways. So one, if you want to do it the alternative way is find a technical person. Find a signal, okay? Look at the market and validate it, okay? It might be right, it might be wrong. Spend enough time in the market and spend enough of it, okay? Working 5 hours, 10 hours is not going to cut it, okay? So you're going to grind that market, collect signals, put them in a spreadsheet, and validate them. If they're valid today, they don't necessarily mean they're valid tomorrow, and vice versa. If they're not valid today, they're probably valid in the future. Okay? So take this and you rinse and repeat. Okay? So you have to have a convincing ability to bring somebody to join you. Okay? Halla, if you're getting a signal and you're getting a market validation, somebody must tell you, not just tell you yes, they must pay for it. Especially if it's a B2B product. As a حدا بقول لك LOI only, okay, it's not enough for me. I've had many people come to me and say, hey, we have LOI. I don't care. Did they pay for it? They're just telling you. Okay, a lot of people will encourage you, but not everybody will pay for it. So you need the clients. Clients' validation is very important. So once you get to this, okay, and you go to investors, you're more likely to close an investor. But if you go with an idea, just like, hey, I have an idea, we get people every day coming to us, hey, I have $1 million idea, okay? And you start probably with a multi-million valuation before building anything in the past, okay? So you have an idea, validate it. You have your feet, you have your mouth, you can go talk to people, you can get people to pay for it, okay? If you have a consumer product, stand up right now and tell people, hey, I have this consumer product, who's willing to buy it? If you get 3 buyers right now, like this seems like a good signal, okay? So Shafi, is that people want to buy crypto right now, just raise your hand, and then there's, you can buy it via the cards, okay? So this is for consumer products. For business products, it's easier in general, like easier to validate, okay? You go to the businesses, you tell them you have this, and then you try to sell them, okay? So you have to get out, you have to talk, you have to meet people, you have to use the resources you have, and not just think about the resources you don't have, okay? So I hope this is a little like a starter.
Anna, I will just add two things. No bad idea goes unfunded. So sometimes if you don't get funding, maybe it's a message that the idea is not so good. And when I have someone, as you said, that approach usually us and says, I have a great idea, Anna, my first thing outside says, who, your mom? You need the market to stamp on it, not your surrounding. And if you want to see a startup that fundraised without fundraising, روح عند Lemonade Fashion and ask him, how did he grow his company, Arthur, without fundraising the first 3 years? He didn't fundraise. Did you? Barke at a later stage, but the first 2-3 years.
Should I answer?
Yeah? Please do.
We honestly did.
I think I have.
So we did the human race version, to be honest. So in the first year and a half of the company, it was just some money that I had put in, and it was very little. I think overall $30,000 was spent in the first year and a half to 2 years. But we had 3 full-time co-founders, and co-founders were not advisory founders. Co-founders were people actually building the product. We had our first brand on the platform even before the platform was ready. So we were already working with 4 brands, and everything was just done offline while we were validating the product. And there's something that I always talk about, which is the advantage of being able to do micro pivots, which means in Lemonade, we never had a long-term plan in the beginning. We were just validating every day and then making small changes every single day. And then the more we talked to clients and the more we worked with brands, the more the product started pivoting much more, but in the right direction. And that's when we started capturing the attention of investors, right? So, and then once the first investor came in, it became interesting for the next one, and then the next one. And then one thing we learned is the power of being able to tell the right story. Because at the end of the day, Corine was saying it well, how do you build excitement? How can you tell the story of, hey, this is what I learned, I have the right people to do it, and this is where we're going. And then if people emotionally join you on that journey, then people, Lemonade is a story of pivots, and Abdo knows that, right? Because we're never satisfied with what we've built. We always believe that there is something we've missed. There is something that can be done better. Our product changes, even till this day, we always find new insights, and then we build on top of it. But we never go to an investor with nothing. We always have We have a platform, there's users, it's growing, it's in a constant state of evolvement and change. Does that answer? Does that answer your question? Okay. So yeah, human race I think is the best example, because if you cannot convince someone to put in sweat equity, right? So it means they're putting time for equity. It's hard to find someone to put in time, to put in money for equity.
Wow.
So co-founders are also people that invest, and early team members are people that invest. We did not pay our first 5 employees for a year and a half. So they all joined because they bought into the vision, and then they were part of that growth. So if you can have someone pay you with time, then someone at the end would eventually give you money.
So that's the end of it. We leave it on Arthur's note. Thank you, Abdo, Corine. Thank you very much, guys. By the way, Rafiq sold 10 cards or one $10 card. They sold to 10 people. Yeah, so come in, a round of applause for Rafiq as well, and for Ashraf.